And in a flash, bow, we're right back. What's good, everybody? Carolina Keith, regular Keith, Professor Keith, just Keith. Oh no, it's Keith again. Carolina Keith, regular. I'll take it all. I'm glad to see everybody here. I hope you've had a magnificently wonderful day, a magnificently wonderful couple days. Boy, did the market respond well. We got a ton to talk about. Rather than chit chat too much, I say we get right to it. Oh, it's time to break out the good stuff. I've got the whiskey sitting over here beside me, 15-year Glimmer Range. I hope you got your whiskey out too. It's time to get saucy. Welcome to Crypto After Dark. If you have not done so, please do me a solid. Go jump over there and hit the like button. It's free. It costs absolutely nothing. While you're there, subscribe. While you're there, follow along. Let me know if you've got good audio and video. I screwed around with a ton of settings before this, trying to get the streaming just right. I don't know that I got it just right, but I got it way better. Rumble did not connect. I don't know what's going on with Rumble. Got streaming issues there. It's the only thing that isn't working right now. New graphics for when we start. I got a new chat box here. Let's see if that works. Probably doesn't, but you know, baby steps, right? Where's my chat box? Hey, it does work. Boy, look at all them comments. Hell yeah, dude, the chat bot works. That's awesome. Let's see that pop up. Very cool, it does work. I can't read it too well, but it's I can't read it too well, but I can see it on there. I'll read your guys' comments over on the side. That way I still see them all, you know what I mean? But of course, I'll always have everybody up on the screen there. If you guys jump in and say something, of course, I'll have it on there for you. And we'll holler at everybody, give everybody a shout out like we always do. Fade that back off. Working is great. That's makes me so happy when things work the way they're supposed to. First things first, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Bitcoin breaking all-time high again.
Damn.
I know, right? Boy, she shot up there, cracked right through all-time high. Now that it's gotten through all-time high, what comes next? That's the big question that everybody asks. The easy question is, when do we buy? The hard question is, when do we sell? Where do we stop? All right, that's what we'll dive into tonight a little bit here. Please note that everything I say is not financial advice. Do your own thing. I'm just a guy on the internet charting. I'm just opening up the path for everyone to be able to do this on their own, okay? That's it. If you don't understand, yeah, crypto, Rumble's down. Don't know what's going on with Rumble. Like I said a minute ago, Rumble's tripping. It's the only thing that's not working. But I'll tinker around with it over privately. We'll get her going. I don't know why it did what it did, but it just told me error. That's all it said was error. And I'm like, what do you mean error? What's that supposed to mean? That's ass. Give me something better than error. It didn't. So anyway, now that we broke all-time high, here's our structure that we've been following the entire time. Our lower highs and our lower lows of our downtrend. That sucked, but all things come to an end. It broke. Once it broke, it got right back over the good old hump that we needed it to, called the trend line. This is the big major trend line. Once it got to work, and it's done nothing, make higher lows and higher highs all the way up, straight through all-time high. A quick glance at the Ichimoku cloud. That's what those 4 check marks are for. You have green cloud on the end. Excellent. That's 1 check mark. Next is the conversion line over the baseline. Perfect. It is. Excellent. How about is the price over the cloud? It is. Excellent. What about the lag line? It's over the cloud and the candles. That's 4 out of 4. That's perfect. That's all you need to know. We're good to go as far as the cloud goes. Warning, before I go too much farther, let me take you down the rabbit hole called the RSI. Be careful here, okay? This is overbought. Now, it can continue to go overbought so long as this thing continues to trend in an upward fashion. The moment this changes, we're going to have to slow down a little bit. But for now, even though it's overbought, it has done this before, as you see back here. It has done this before, as you see back here. Triple overbought, way more overbought, right? It can go higher. So I'll say this. I'll get into this in the weekly here in a second, but what I want you to see was the warning sign that it is overheated. It is running hot. Here's the weekly. As you see, we have not gotten into overbought yet. We're getting close to overbought. It has done this before. Once we go overbought, what usually happens, everyone? Down. That's right. Now, it doesn't mean that's where we're going first. It's just saying that, hey, look, take a breath sometimes. Everything's got to breathe and slow down. Bitcoin is no different. I don't want you to get thinking that you can't be wrong here, because we absolutely can. All right, I got a fresh, clean chart here. This is Binance. Same thing with my trend line going up. I'm going to pull fibs on this, and this will give us some basic ideas for targets on the top side here. Now that we're above all-time high, there is no more resistance. Resistance no longer exists on the chart. It's gone. Now that there's no longer resistance, what comes next? Well, we have to find a certain point around in here where we're going to stop and or slow down. That's what Fibonacci retracement helps us do. It gives us mathematical waypoints along the line. And those mathematical waypoints for us are 1.272, 1.414, and 1.618. Those are repetition numbers of the Fibonacci sequence, all right? It's very difficult to explain. I'm not a mathematician. Mr. Fibonacci was, and that's how we got to where we are. All right, I'm not going to argue with a mathematician either. I'm way too stupid for that. So, nonetheless, our waypoints at those particular fib points that I mentioned are 122, 128, and roughly 140. So call it 120, 125, 140. Furthermore, note that there's confluence right here at the 1414 fib. That happens to be the 1414 on the weekly. What I didn't show you was the weekly. If I scroll all the way out and I grab the entire bull market here, from bear market at the top in 2021 to the bottom of the bear market in 2022, all the way back up, retrace, absolutely on a rip. Have a nice day. See you later. And she hasn't slowed down very competitively yet. I know this was ugly and it didn't feel good. I know this was ugly and it felt worse. But look where we are now. Look what's happening now. We're above all-time high and sprinting. Now that we're above all-time high and sprinting, you saw that confluence. 128, 125 to 130, I think is the more safe way to say this. That's a fair estimate for a slowdown point. That doesn't mean where it stops. What I mean by slowdown is things may slow down a little bit, catch their breath, and gain some more steam, like you saw happen back here. I'm not saying it's going to last as long as it did back then, because honestly, I don't think it will. It may be a situation where we get one of these little moves here, where it kind of slows down for a little bit, and then gets right on back about its business again. I'm definitely hopeful that happens, one thing at a time though, right? So that's my mathematical points for now. That's in log mode. Flip her to linear, and we come up with 122, which is linear mode 2 fib, and 137 up here at the 2.272. Both of those points I kind of just mentioned a minute ago. Now that 137 I didn't, and the 122 I did. 137 I kind of mentioned, 135 to 140. That's right in that range, okay? I do think these numbers happen in time. The timing of that is the interesting part. Will it happen now or later? I do think we may run hot for the rest of the month here, not excluding every single day, but for a lot of the days of the month is the better way to say it. I do think we're going to continue to do that. Let me know if the music's too high. By the way, y'all, I did tinker with some audio settings. If the music's too high, I can turn it down a little bit. But I'm losing my voice a little bit too. I don't know if y'all can hear it. It had started happening this afternoon. I don't know. I guess it's the allergies are finally catching up with me. We'll see how long I make it through the night. I got whiskey for the. We're good to go. We'll talk. We'll crack the whiskey open up here in a minute. Okay. We'll wait for everybody to get in. This is right now me telling y'all, I'm gonna break the whiskey out. Y'all want to hang out with me and break the whiskey out? I'm here for it. We're gonna have a drink and celebrate a little bit, because it isn't often when Bitcoin breaks all-time high. Okay. It isn't often when we start seeing everything pop into buy signals. That's my take for Bitcoin for now. I'm going to leave it there and reassess come Tuesday again. Obviously, we still do this every single day in our Discord. Check it out, wap.com/team786 at the bottom. A couple spots open, and that's it. All right, cool. So let's do a comparison of what we've had happen the last several cycles. Something you're not going to see on many channels is what I'm going to show you now. Drop the camera off here. Oh, wrong button. There we go. Once I drop the camera off, you can see 2016 on the left. Ah, shit, I did that again, didn't I? Hold on. Hit the wrong button. There we go. I thought I had my demonstration bar clicked, and I didn't. All right, cool. So here's 2016. You see it right there. Can't really mistake that. All right, cool. 2020. See it right there. Can't really mistake that. All right, cool. Here's it's currently. I want you to know that while you can't see it, all these fibs are the same that I just showed you, all right? Doesn't matter whether it's 2012, 2016, 2020, or now, all these fibs are identical. Here's the monthly if you don't believe me, okay? And I want to go back to the weekly first. We did see slowdowns when we got to the fibs up here before. You see it blew right through it in 2016. It did slow down a little bit over here in 2020 after it went all the way up to 175. And note there that even back in 2016, we got to the 1618 fib. 1618 fib up here is 170, and the 1618 fib over here was about 60,000, all right? Clearly, we're bouncing off of this. Clearly, this weekly is geared up and on the run. Can it retrace back to support? Yes, it can. Would that be the end of the world? No, it would not be. As a matter of fact, I'm okay with that. How about monthly? All 4 cycles, one by one, by one, by one. Folks, sorry, but this is just how it is. You've seen this in linear mode. Now it's in log mode. Lock in. All right. Same deal. Now you can see all the fibs now that I've kind of given you a quad screen here with monthly. I had to use monthly to bring the candles in to tighten them in a little bit so you could even get a good view of it. All right. I could maybe do quarterly or 2 month and even get a better view. But nonetheless, you see back in 2012, damn it, I did it again. I suck at clicking buttons sometimes, y'all. That's a 3-way pause. Or the 4-way. There we go. All right, demonstration. You see over here 1272, 1414, 1618. Same thing here, 1272, 1414, 1618. I've got this arrow that's marking where we are in the last 3 cycles as compared to now. All right, as you see, we still have time left here. Every single cycle's had more up after our arrow. Does that mean it's going to come all at once? I would bet no. I would bet no, it does not come all at once. But I do think we're going to get there. You see, I have a lock put right here. That little lock is the level that I do think we get to. Okay? Baby steps, one thing at a time. I think it's still pretty darn close to every other cycle that it's had, less a few hiccups here and there. They're not exactly, but they are echoes of each other. And I mean very, very close echoes. And I love seeing it. All right? One more thing. Drop these fibs off. Let me do this first. Let me put the Bitcoin rainbow wave up here. What is the Bitcoin rainbow wave? You know what? Let me do this. Scroll it back out. I got to grab the index here so it'll show me the whole thing. I don't fully trust this for what it's worth. I'll tell you now, okay? Don't fully trust that this is accurate. But what I want you to see is the frequencies of things getting hit and the likelihood that we do run to certain levels. All right. As you see, we just got out of this blue zone, and I think it's still possible that we back test the top side of that blue line. But once we get out of that blue zone, the next zone to top out at is the pink bar up there, which is about 145, which is around what I said a minute ago, right? Maybe not exactly that, maybe later. Nonetheless, this red box up here, this is called the can't miss zone. Looking back historically, this box has been hit every single time. Here's that last bull market we just had. Here's the bull market before I got in. Same thing, hit the can't miss zone. Same thing there, can't miss zone back in 2012. It's not that this thing is perfect, but it does give you a base model and kind of a map to see what's coming. You see my fibs that I've got, these boxes that I've got drawn in here. These are price action boxes that I think we get to either now or later. I mean to say that I can drag this over to the right and it will still hit that box. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Pull that to let's go January. That upper box will go to January. This box, I think we hit by this summer. We may go all the way up here and hit this box. I don't know about that yet. That's a little bit hopium, and I'd rather not have any hopium. All right. That was a long-winded ass Bitcoin explanation, wasn't it? Last piece on that. Here's Bitcoin's BTCD, Bitcoin dominance. That's what this is called. It's kind of a historical representation of what Bitcoin's done in the past, kind of overpowering the market. Now, as you see, way back in the day, we had our halving lines. Oh, damn it. This is I keep doing it, bro. Demonstration first. Y'all got to remind me. This is our big fall off that we had back in the day. You can't see it, but that was 2016. All right, same thing over here, 2020 after halving. You had a little run up and then a fade. Here we are halving from this year, 2024. Here's our run up. Are we going to get our fade? We don't know yet. How about we go look at daily and see what it looks like on the daily? All right. Now, I don't want weekly, I want daily. There we go. So I had this green box drawn in here. We've been talking about this in the Discord ad nauseum. Where's this thing going to stop? Where's this thing going to fail? This happened all this month. Big fall off for Bitcoin dominance while Bitcoin went up. What does that mean? Well, that means it lost its grip over dominating the altcoins. And while money was coming out of Bitcoin to other stuff, new money was coming into Bitcoin to make up the difference. We have to have this transition happen. I've talked about it before, but it's already happening, okay? If I put some moving averages up here, you'll see that we're failing the 50 moving average and the 821 right now. This was a perfect 618 retrace and failure. If this keeps going, here are my levels on the way back down. All right, I like 62%, and then all the way down here to 60% would be fabulous. I'd like to see that happen by this summer. That would mean that Bitcoin still went up in price. However, it lost its grip on the market, and we started to see altcoins gain some power. That's what this chart explains. This is total 1, total 2, and total 3. Total 1 is everything. Dude, y'all didn't tell me, and I did it freaking again. There we go. This is insane. How can you hit the same button 4 times? But I did that shit.
Damn.
I know, man.
Come on, man.
I totally agree, bro. Thanks, Obama. All right. So anyway, there's our steady uptrend. Here's our little beats down that we've had. Now we're about to clear all-time high, but look closely here. Total market cap has not cleared new all-time high yet. Only Bitcoin's done that, and since only Bitcoin's done that and it hasn't shared any, these altcoins are still lagging behind, aren't they? Well, total 2 is everything except Bitcoin. It's all coins except Bitcoin, heavy on Ethereum. And then total 3 over here is everything except Bitcoin and Ethereum. Note that it is higher up on the chart by a matter of about 14%. That means altcoins aside from Ethereum are up 14% over altcoins with Ethereum. All right. Doesn't mean that it's the end of the world, just means that altcoins are running a little hotter than Ethereum. Ethereum's been sucking hind tit. And on that topic, let's talk about Ethereum. Bro, this stream is flowing well. Pause.
Pause.
I'm an idiot, dude. Let me say hey to everybody real fast. What's up, Cheese? Good to see you, bro. It says Una Momento on Technicals. Good to see you, my guy. What's up, Darren Sargo? Good to see you too, by the way. I missed you on there. I got you that time, though. Make sure I seen your name. What's up, Cheese? Chop Choppy said, market spicy. Damn right it is. Carmine Glitch says 130K BTC June. Let's go. Hell yeah, bro. Let's go. Phonetic Duck says, what's up? I'm good to see you, brother. Give me Zale. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Brad Williams, how you doing? Sean Shepard, what's up, dude? Is that China Matt? China Matt in the chat.
Wrong.
Good to see you, China Matt. He says, bull run, no need. Let's go, dude. Multi-screen's cool for scalping different time streams. Absolutely right. Or as my esteemed colleague points out, let's do market heavy lifting. What's up, Sir Sid? Good to see you, brother. He's jumping in from X. That's awesome. That's the first X comment I've seen pop up. The Cleve says the whiskey's back. Let's go. That's pretty good. What's up, Matt Wallace Busted? Good to see you, brother. My cousin Jeremy, what's up? Ann Lit, good to see you. Crypto Paladin, what's up, my guy? Yeah, Rumble's been a problem. I'm sorry about that. Andrea Nosku, no worries, brother. Jump over in the Discord. I got the new coming soon screen over there, and it comes on before every live stream. You're bound to see it again. Price discovery, absolutely. I just asked, do you expect a major correction following? Absolutely, I expect a major correction. We'll get to that when we get up to the top, though. We can't really say that too soon. You know what I mean? It's too soon to guess on that. Cleve says the whiskey's back. Let's go. Jay Gross, good to see you, brother, from Berserkly. Hang out, brother. We're going to talk about some shit right here in a second. I've got Ethereum pulled up. I'm not pouring a drink till 11:30. We got 10 more minutes, and then I'll start busting through some other coins here. Got Ethereum pulled up here. As you see, what's it doing? It's peeking its head at new highs right here on the local spots. Closing above this opens up even more upside. But warning, you are smack right into the 200 moving average. The 200 moving average does not break easy. It is working on it. Problem, weekly 50 moving average in the way. Weekly 100 and 200 are slightly under that. So even though they're slightly under that and it's stuck under the 50, worst case Ontario is we ping pong around for a little bit here. Ping pong around here for a little bit. Maybe test the 21, but more likely, in my opinion, is this AEMA slowly squeezes up through this 200 and we get that little snap that we've been waiting on where Ethereum gets to capture some of its gains back. For it to be dominated by altcoins is a little far-fetched to me. I do think Ethereum's going to have its day in the sun here. Note that we're also in the golden pocket. I do think it gets through that and it gets to 3,000, which is cleanly over the 200 moving average. That would be up here more towards Sniper's Alley and the top of the golden pocket, right? That would be more 3,000 to 3,500 in my opinion. But we're getting there, right? Ethereum slowly gaining its power back. Again, warning, that's overbought. So our pullback is not unheard of here. Don't get mad if things roll over and turn red. It's fully plausible, all right? When things run hot, that's part of the game. Now, weekly, not so much. Weekly's got a ton of room to go, as you see, right? So we may have some short-term red mixed in with long-term green. Look at the MACD on this, by the way. She only recently turned up. Couple big MACD volume candles coming in there, volume bars. Love to see that. Slow going here for Ethereum, but she's on the way back. Friggin' finally, dude. You know what I mean? Holy shit, bro. What took so long? Just destroyed me for a while, dude. It put me into a damn depression, dude. Some of this shit's crazy, bro. Watching stuff fail like this just rips you apart. You know what I mean? But little by little, she's coming back. And I got to deal with it just like everybody else has got to deal with it. So it's all good. Hype, new all-time high. Yeah, bro, saw that. We'll talk about hype here in a second. What's up? Who's on there? Who's on? What's up, user default? Good to see you. I don't know who it is. It says user default, but I'm going to go with that. I don't know your name. All right, so let's go over to a couple more here. I got BNB wrote down. All right. Look at BNB go. So, damn it, hit the Windows button. Clean break right here. New highs at the local lines. She's up and running. I got a fib time zone, which about the end of June where it says it might slow down some. But right now, she's over previous bull run all-time high again. If this breaks loose, and it will, I got BNB going to, by the fibs, at least 720 to 750. Top side of that, 800 to 1,000. 1,000 BNB would be wild, but I'm going to go 850 to 900 to be safe. All right. That's based on the fibs, based on the breakout of the trend, and based on the fact this MACD has only just now turned green and that RSI has plenty of room to go north. Rack it up. BNB looks pert damn good. All right. She says flip it. All right. And it's cool that we've gotten both the streams chats going in here at the same time as well. By the way, if you haven't done so, man, please do us all a solid, bruv. Go hit like. It don't cost nothing, man, to hit the like button. It don't cost nothing to give us a follow. And it costs absolutely nothing to subscribe. We'd love to have you. We do this twice a week. Not to mention I take clips from everything that we do and I repost it over to X. I repost it over to X, Rumble, and YouTube, which I'll do tomorrow. I'll take the same clips that I usually put over on YouTube and I'll put them on Rumble since the stream didn't work on Rumble right this time. And we'll try to iron out the Rumble details next time. I don't know what happened, dude. I can do private streams on Rumble. That's probably what I'll do to tinker around with it. See if I can get the settings right. I'm not sure why it doesn't work right. It's probably a setting inside of Rumble that I didn't fix. But that's what happens when you're doing multiples. Good news is X and YouTube works, and that's where most people watch. We do get more views over on Rumble, though. Rumble.com/Team786 or Team Carolina Keith _1. Check it out. Rumble.com/Carolina Keith 1. I think that's it, actually. So anyway, there's BNB, Bitcoin, Ethereum. I gave you total market cap 1, 2, and 3. Bitcoin's full cycle history, current weekly cycle history, Bitcoin dominance. I think it's just about time we show you Bitcoin, CME, and then we'll get a drink. All right, so let me drop off. Somebody's pinging me. Hang on. Let me drop this off. I've got more stuff open than I need here. There we go. All right, so Bitcoin CME moves a little slower. It closes on the weekends. We all know this. So the number's a little bit more streamlined and smooth for us to read. It's a lot less herky-jerky that way. Linear mode 124 to 138, just like we had on the other ones. Log mode 131 to 179. Best bet on that one's going to be the 1414 first. There again, 125 to 135 is a fair number. I think China Matt was saying 122 was where his R4 was, and the same thing happened in 2020 where R4 got hit. That's a pivot point where the same thing happened. R4 got hit at roughly 122. But that wasn't 122, it was just that was the R4. It's about the same time in the cycle, right? Because of that, I want to be careful here and not risk too much, not over gamble. But the CME has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, working on its 6th green day in a row. That's not happened very often. I'm here for it. Moving averages are all clear. You've got one more tits cross here, 100 with the 50 moving average cutting through it. After that, there are no more tits crosses. She's free to sprint. Obviously, the cloud is all good to go on CME here. So, much ado about nothing for me. Looks pretty damn solid. I'm tickled about it. Hey, this is exactly what I needed to see to change my mind, all right? Very, very happy. Very, very happy. And on that note, I think it's time we have a drink, don't you? I agree, Keith. Good. I'm going to break out my XRP whiskey glass. Shout out Ripple Van Winkle for the glass set. That's sitting right behind me on that little whiskey table right there with the light underneath it. Let me get out some Cold Stones because I like my whiskey chilled. I got to get out the big Cold Stones or the Sphere Ice again. I don't mind these Cold Stones, but I like the ice better, I think. Couple in there. Once more, Glimmer Range, 15-year. I only break this out for special occasions, and Bitcoin breaking all-time high again, folks, is just that. If there's not a special occasion like Bitcoin breaking all-time high, then they ain't a special occasion. We're going to have a lot of these to celebrate in the coming weeks and months. So let's have a drink, shall we? Ooh, a good stiff drink. That's going to hurt going down, fellas. I'm going to add a little flavor to it. I'm going to be a little bit of a bitch tonight. Add some caramel syrup to it. Why would I do that? Because I got to get up in the morning, dude. I got kids going to college and school and everything else, dude. And I can't be getting wicked drunk smashed in here and dealing with kids in the morning, bro. I got a teenager and a preteen. They play football. They do activities, volleyball, all this other stuff, bro. I can't be getting tore up. Shout out to everybody. No bullshit. Listen, y'all, I super appreciate everybody coming in here and hanging out. This was a brutal cycle so far. All right. I know I made a ton of mistakes. I know a lot of y'all might have made mistakes, but nonetheless, we're here now. I cannot describe to you how much it means to me that all you actually show up and come through and hang out on this stream. We got almost 300 people watching right now. Almost 300. We're close. Not quite there. Crypto Big D says, let's fucking go. Exactly, bro. I'm having a drink tonight. Fuck it. Hell yeah, dude. Go ETH Cross. Hell yeah, dude. Cheese says, ship it. Matt says, cheers. All right, brother. Here we go. Thank y'all. We'll have a drink. Then we'll go to our favorite asset. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, I'm talking about that one. Oh, hell yes. Woo! I ain't had some whiskey in a minute. Cheers, everybody. And tap the camera. Dink. There we go. And with that, y'all know exactly what time it is. It's time that we chart our favorite asset. Everybody knows it. XRP. Ooh.
Wrong.
Psych. Not everybody's favorite, but it's extremely popular. Interestingly enough, I've mentioned this before. Google Trends tells me that 65% plus of you who watch this episode of live streams that we do, I can't get this analytic from X, but I'm pretty sure it's up there as well because I can see the likes and views and stuff. XRP dominates viewership and outreach. Doesn't ever reflect the price, but that's exactly what happens, right? We see a ton of people watching and following because of XRP. And because of that, I'm here for y'all, even though you hate me. Some of y'all don't hate me, but most of you do, for various different reasons. I'm going to start with the Ichimoku cloud. You have lag line, not only over the candles, but over the cloud. Excellent. Some people like to see it over the cloud. It's as a more safe bet, and it's over the cloud now. You have price well over the cloud. You can see that. It's not even close. Excellent. You have conversion line, which is the blue line, over the red line. You can see it right there. That's 3. One more, and you got 4. All right, right here. Green cloud on the end, not red like this, but green. Excellent. Guess what? That means you got 4 out of 4. You're free and clear to leave her alone and let her rip. That's what I'm going to do. You can do what you want, but that's what I'm going to do. Here's the moving averages. 8 moving average, you're over that. 21 is EMA. 8 EMA, 21 EMA, you're over that. 100 moving average, you bounced off of it perfectly, you're over that. 50 moving average is about to have a golden cross. Hell yeah, dude. Over the 200 moving average. When that happens, that's bullish. Little baby steps here, but we are progressing nicely in the world of getting to where we want to go. Again, that same spot, making a new high right here, opens up $3. That's up here in Sniper's Alley. I do think we get there first. Could we go beyond that? Yes. But first, how about we get to that $3 level? 250 to 275 won't fall easy. That's Sniper's Alley. That's Golden Pocket. Golden Pocket won't give up easy. It's going to be a dogfight. Pivot points. 250, 280. I just said 275 and 250, didn't I? Well, there you go. It's actually 250 and 280. Close enough to $3, but we'll get up there, I think. I think we at least shoot a wick up to $3, but we'll see. Bollinger Bands, cruising sideways. You're over the midline. Nothing much there to look at. RSI, never been overbought, so we have room to go for this thing to get overbought and run hot. Here for that. And last but not least, the MACD. Still got some red volume down here instead of green volume. You want to see these bars flip to green like you've got back here, which would mean that the blue line crossed over the orange line. Hasn't happened yet. We're waiting on that. Zooming out to weekly. RSI has all the room in the world to do what it wants. MACD still cruising down, hasn't even crossed over yet. And one more thing here. Note, please, this was a not great looking weekly candle. So it might be hell for us to exactly get through that and break out. It might end up wick chasing this wick right here. All right, let me get a more fine drawing tool here for you. There we go. It might end up wick chasing the top of this. All right, you might get a candle that runs up here and wick chases. And then after that wick chase, let me go down the daily here. You get a wick up to here, and then it thinks about it, and then it breaks out and goes. I think that's actually more likely than not. I don't think we're going to get a clean break and run. I don't know exactly when it's going to happen. Could be this summer and could be the end of the year, but I do think we're going to get that surge up to those upper levels. I like the weekly look overall, aside from that one ugly candle. XRP's on its way, man. I know it hasn't gone as fast as you want, but don't worry, fear not. It'll go. That's how you update XRP, folks. Bam, just like that, right? I don't have a bam. I don't have a bam sound effect. It'll just have to be that one. All right, Solana. I'm in Solana. Are you in Solana? All right, weekly, you can see the power of this thing trying its best to come up off the floor. Obviously, we're nowhere near new highs yet. A lot of them look like this, but they're not near new highs just yet. Note that our fibs here, I can't pull that down all the way. Our fibs here show us bouncing off the 50 fib, heading for the golden pocket right in here around 200 bucks. Get above that, that's 230 to 250, 260, call it 250, all right? That gets us back up to Sniper's Alley. But note, you are running into some resistance here. It won't fall necessarily easy. I think a grind up is more realistic. Once it does get through the mess here, my 1618 is up near 600 bucks, whether that's summer or winter. I do think we're going to get up here to these $500 to $600 levels on Solana. It's not too far off already. Just needs a little bit more work to get there. MACD just now turning up on the daily. You did go overbought on the RSI, but you did come right back down and then bounce up again. Looks like it wants to take another surge and make a new high. It's very close to making a new local high already. It likely will. And when it makes a new high, I think it's going to make that break for 200. Right? Seems like a realistic one to me. He said, just do Hell's Bells. That's funny. Patiently waiting on XRP, Crypto Big D said. He said, I'm also in Solana. Hell yeah. What's up, Bill Childers? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, man, that's awesome. So jump on and there you guys can see yourselves in the chat right there. Schwappa. I don't know why I don't just leave that up. Let me just leave that up, and I think you guys will be able to see yourselves talking in the chat. All right. So let me go down the list of coins that I did not get to the other day when I did the request stream, and I felt like shit afterwards. So this is for Kevin Luce, by the way, Luce Jr. I forgot Mother Day, brother, my bad. So let me make it up to you. All right. So far, big downtrend broken. You've started this little bitty uptrend over here. I like that. Let me make it green. Green for good. Can't hate that, right? All right. So the 50 fib is a little bit in the way right here. And you got this same pattern where you're stuck underneath the 200 moving average, but you're raising up all these other moving averages. You got a tits cross coming in here with the 50-100. You're likely going to run up here to this quarter and then 27-cent range soon. Test the 200. I don't know if it breaks through it or not. It may test the 200 and then fade back down to the 50. Unsure just yet. Now on the weekly, you see that the weekly 200 moving average is way up here at 40 cents. Whether that's summer or winter, I do think that level will be reached at some point. I think it's more sooner than later, but I can't be sure of that. Not overbought just yet. It did peak into overbought and then fell right back out. And this MACD is fairly nominal and crossing up. And it's a pretty good look, especially if you don't mind staying in for a while. BNB we already did. AVAX. I don't know why I'm whispering. I just said the right thing to do at the time. All right. So similar story for AVAX as a lot of other coins. Have this exact same look where you're getting the tits cross 50 through the 100 at the bottom. 200 moving average kind of capping all of our gains off here. And an 821 cross up. You're challenging a new high. Haven't made it just yet. You got a very aggressive short-term uptrend here. Cannot deny it. I'm here for it. Excellent. All right, cool. How about the Ichimoku cloud? Same story. You're 4 out of 4 on the Ichimoku cloud. Love to see that. Can't hate that at all. How about the RSI? Not overbought. Peaked into it right there. Immediately fell off. RSI and MACD do the same thing as Algo. Thinking about it, ticking its way up. If, by the way, look at the weekly MACD. That thing's got forever and a day to make up all that ground it lost. We'll see what happens, man. I'm optimistic, cautiously optimistic. Our weekly has forever and a day to get overheated and catch back up. It's way down. in the event that AVAX does something amazing here. All right, pivot points, Fibonacci retracement, 28 bucks, 30, 37, 35, 37. So really I got 30, 35, and 45. That's 50 fib snipers, 50 fib golden pocket snipers alley. 30, 35, 45. I think those are fair levels to attack. I do think whether summer or winter we get to those. I'm being cautious here because I don't want to take a stand on something and be completely wrong going into the back half of the year. While I do think we'll have a good time, I don't guarantee you know that. Your 1, 2, 7, 2, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 6, 1, 8 all kind of point toward $100, but we'll see when we get there. We got to cross some major barriers before we do. There's a lot of hurdles to jump here on this one. She's had a rough go, right? And since she's had a rough go, we need to baby our way into it. How about Dogecoin? All right, so I got a lot of drawings on this chart. Bear with me here. Big downtrend has now broken and swept up very aggressively. If you look closely, you can see we are trying to make a new high on the local spots. All right, little short-term fib right here shows 1272, 1414, 1618 between 27 and 30 cents. Makes sense seeing as how we're at 25 right now. All right, that's also the next weekly fib up to about the golden pocket. Then we reassess and see what it wants to do. If she's ready to get off the toilet and run here instead of sitting around doing nothing. That golden pocket doesn't really line up with a lot at 27, but more so around $30 right through here. Then we have Sniper's Alley at 41, call it 40 cents. If we get a breakout, then you got 70 cents or $1 up here. That would be absolutely insane, wouldn't it? If Doge ran to $1. Boy, I'd make 9x on that. I'm all the way here for that shit. So I'm in Doge, obviously. So if that happens, brother, we are paid. We are paid. How cool is the new chat thing? It's working. I can tell it's working. Empty space to 36. I see what you see, Cheese. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Is my chat cut off? Might be. Hang on. Let me fix it real fast. Chat box. No, it's good. It is perfect. What's up, Matt? He said it is dope. So thinking rule number 4, take your profits, reassess, plan, reload. Damn right. Maybe get there, run sideways, rebuild, press again. I'm exactly here with what you're saying, Cheese. Let me reiterate this before I go through the rest of these altcoins that we're going to get through. There are 4 rules, folks. There are 4 rules to investing. And this is going to be more so about life than just investing, but for the point, investing. Rule number 1, folks, no emotions allowed. This is investing and making money. No one cares how you feel. No one cares how I feel. It's all about getting as much money as you can, as fast as you can. So please remember, if you're being emotional or if you're having an emotional response, walk away. It's not going to work. You're going to cost yourself in the long run. Rule number 2, have a plan before you ever buy anything. What am I buying? Why am I buying it? How much am I going to buy? When's a good time to stop? When's a good time to just get a little bit out? When might all this end? That's all part of making a plan. If you don't have a plan, make a plan right now. Rule number 3, what's your backup plan when things go wrong? Because, folks, I can guarantee you things are going to go wrong. They've gone wrong for me tons of times. They're going to go wrong for you. It is not all candy and gumdrops. It will fail. And when things fail, you fail. And when you fail, what are you going to do? I set stop losses. I monitor exactly what I'm doing. I've got alerts set, tons of stuff, so this doesn't happen to me anymore. Last but not least, my favorite rule, the rule that I have the most trouble with, I shouldn't, but that's why it's the most important rule for me. Take your profits. It's real simple, folks. If you don't take your profits, I will take your profits for you. Don't want that to happen. I want you to get paid with me. What good is sitting in first class if my friends can't come? All right. So remember, rule number 1, no emotions. Rule number 2, have a plan. Rule number 3, backup plan. Rule number 4, take your profits. I'm going to harp in on taking your profits for the next several months. Y'all going to have to just get over that, man. You can get over it or don't get over it. I don't mind. All right, Hype. How about Hype? My goodness, folks. Just on an absolute rip-roaring tear here. All right, Hype. I've got Fibonacci time zones going from left to right. I've got fibs going from up top to bottom. We are approaching a fib time zone here on the 26th in 3.5 days. Call it 3 days because the time's about to run up in 15 minutes. She's through everything clear above all-time high, like someone mentioned in the chat already. Love seeing her rip tater chips like this. Just got to wait to see what else is going to happen, because if it wants to slow down, where's it going to come back to? Depends on whether or not it gets above this 1 fib up here. All right, if it gets above the 1 fib where I had previous wicks going to, well, we can hang on to 35 as support rather than 30, because if it fails, that's where it's coming back to, the $30 level first. 821 EMA, everything else is tits here, good to go. Again, staying above 30 is ideal. Where's our endpoints here? 51 to 75 makes decent sense. Log or linear, it doesn't matter. Hype's been on an absolute rip. I did buy some. I then got screwed over because I put an order in for $2,000 and it didn't fill all the way. It filled 10% of the way. Wonderful. I got 200 whole bucks worth of this and I sold it yesterday. Good to go, got my money. All right. I'm disappointed that I didn't get all my money in this. At the same time, whatever. We have multiple people in our Discord who did get into this. WAP.com/team786. Right here along the bottom of the screen. Right there. WAP.com/team786. You can see it right there. I got into Hype specifically because of the 821 and 50 moving average cross that happened right down here. Told everybody I did it. I tell everybody everything I buy and sell. I don't hide anything. I got that shit down to the dollar on the portfolio spreadsheet now. Real tickled about Hype. I hope it keeps going, honestly. It's been a hell of a ride. MOG, if I can even do it. Yep, MOG coin. All right, MOG, like some others, like Ethereum and Solana, pressing into that 200 moving average, trying to get through. It is a new high locally here. You can see that right there. Closed above it. Excellent. 821, 5100, you're good to go there. Pivot points, you're over all of them. Cloud, you're all good there. I will warn you, she's over hot. She's already went overbought once. She's overbought again. MACD is pointed up. Can't hate that. Go take a look at the weekly. She's got room to go on the weekly. That's crazy. Room to go on the weekly. Damn.
Damn.
I have sound effects for that, Keith. All right. So I've got an old trend line here drawn. And let me pull some fibs on this. You know what today's giving me? Giving me strong vibes, dude. When we showed up and everything was just popping and we were like, oh man, here we go, dude. Starting to get those vibes again, bro. I'm here for it. I am here for it. Grubo Bundo says reposted the stream. Thank you, brother. 300 on X tonight. Yeah, that's right, dude. Let's go. We got 300 on X. We got 40 on YouTube. Hey, man, y'all go hit like, hit share, follow, subscribe, all that good shit, bro. It's free. Why not? You know what I'm saying? It's free. Anyway, MOG, we got this trend line here. I'm a little worried about it getting stalled out here at Sniper's Alley, which is a whole bunch of zeros, 2, 2, to a whole bunch of zeros, 3. All right. For now, she's still cooking, though, and I can't even be mad. Might get hung up at the 200. Don't get disappointed if it does. It's had a hell of a rip already. I'm very proud of it. The thing's been doing great. Radium. I made really good money off Radium the first half of this bull run. I think I cleared like 12 grand on Radium. But for now, I'm not in it. On the back side of that, she's pressed up against the 50 fib right now. But if I put the moving averages, you'll see a lot like the others. You got your tits crossed through now. 200 moving average is the only thing in the way here. We're going to start slowly working this up, where this 50 is going to slowly matriculate toward this 200. And this 100 is going to start to turn. And when it starts to turn, it's going to work toward that 200. Everything's going to cross. We're going to get some slowdowns. And then after summer, you're going to get that move where it's something like this. All right. That's not exactly ideal right there, perfect, but we're going to get something like that. Shout out to Panda. He said, thanks, Keith. Have you heard of Pexit? I have not. China Matt says, that's income for them. Ripple does international payments. I know, right, bro? Big Crypto Big D says, go with. Yeah, buddy. I'm officially breaking out of the hospital right now. Hell yeah, busted. Dude had a heart treatment procedure done the other day. Dude was in the hospital talking to me on the phone. Crypto Big D said, just hit the 200. That's with. Let's go, dude. Love seeing things improve here. What else can we look at real fast? Like, you guys in the chat, give me a couple more to look at. People who are watching, people in the chat, give me something you'd like me to chart real quick. We got about 7 or 8 minutes, and then we'll be done. All right, with Crypto Big D, shout out to him. What am I going to use for a good sound effect for when someone gives us something good? We'll just do the ding. No. We'll do Todd Oz. 200 moving average getting hit right there. New local high, just like you just saw on MOG. Similar story here on Dog with the Hat, which is just with USD. Pull these fibs. I'll start with this one and not grab that high. I think that's maybe a little fool's gold right there. All right, we're through the 50 fib. That's nice. Golden pocket at about $1.50. That would be my next target if it gets to the 200 moving average. Then we can talk about $3. Beyond that, we could have breakouts, but I don't want to start thinking about breakouts until we do a little bit more. Say Coin. Now, real quick, I posted about this on X. I'm going to do ICP after this one, but I posted about Say Coin on X today, I think. Has a lot of good markers. If you're looking at the Ichimoku cloud, we have all four. We're over the lag line over the candles and the cloud. Prices over the cloud. You've got conversion over base, and you've got a green cloud. That's 4 out of 4. You're good to go on that one. How about the moving averages? You got the same look as a lot of the other ones, where you got the 100, 200, 150 moving average tits cross coming in. Respectfully, that's going to push up more. 200 moving average is capping off the price like a lot of them are, around 30 cents. But more so what I see is the upside. If this thing gets through these moving averages, can get past this weekly 50, which I do think it does in time, that leads us up here to 50 to 60 cents and a potential breakout toward $1 to $2. If that happens, that's an 8 to 10x, and everybody would be very merry. As far as our RSI goes, we're overheated a little bit back in early May. We've cooled off, got a lot of room to get back to overbought again. MACD has not crossed up yet, and we are starting to drop off of our red volume bars, and we haven't got any green volume bars come in yet, but she's close. A little early I am on this one, but it is over all the moving averages and has a pretty darn good look, and I do think there's good gains here. That's why I posted about it. I don't own any of this. I just posted it so everyone would see it. Not telling you to buy or sell. Don't do whatever you want. I don't care. I don't even own any, but I thought it was a good looking chart with a lot of green check marks, and that's why I shared it. ICP. Get a drink real quick. Whew. All right. ICP. Same thing. I posted this one on X as well. I do own this one. I bought it a couple weeks ago, so don't complain to me. Over the 50 moving average, just broke through the 100 moving average. Hell yeah. If I drop those off, you got the cloud. You got 4 out of 4 on the cloud. Let's go. Perfect. That's lag line over the candles. Hasn't broken through the cloud yet. Some people like that, but it's close. Nonetheless, you got the other 3 out of 4, green cloud. Excellent. Love to see that. Where's our 200 moving average? All the way up here at almost $8. Price is $5.80 right now. You do the math on what the gains are there, but I can count that high at least. That's 35+%. All right, RSI, she's working her way up, but she hasn't even been overbought yet. It will go overbought at some point. And your MACD recently just threw a couple green volume bars. Love to see it. Love to see ICP turn the corner here. Took friggin' forever, but she's on her way back up. Please note that we are still stuck under some of these weekly problems here. Weekly 21 EMA up about $6.50. That'll be a slowdown. And you can see your weekly 50 and 100 moving average is also up here around $8. That gives me confluence of that area. Weekly MACD just crossed over and gave our first green volume bar here for the weekly. Good stuff. And as far as weekly goes, she hasn't been overbought since last year in December. All right, so I think there's some decent gains here. That's why I said what I said. If I put fibs on it, you'll see it kind of aims out to the fibs already got pulled on the weekly. So baby steps, 650, 8 to 10, and then we'll see about these other fibs up here at 15, 20, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't want to get over in front of myself. One thing at a time. It's had a real rough go, ICPS. So taking any gains I can get here will be a win. I didn't put a metric ton of money in it, but I did put a fair amount for what I was planning on doing. I tried to consolidate more, like I said I would. I tried to consolidate more coins and not do 50 or 60, just do 4 or 5, and then kind of consolidate around. That's what I did with this one. I'm going to leave it be. I like the look. I think it's got legs. Cool. Neural. All right, so you're over the 8, 21, and 50. You're not quite got over the 100 just yet, but you're aiming for it. Next target, 78 cents. Call it 80 cents. Weekly 21 EMA is up near $1 at 96 cents. Call it 95 by the time it gets up there towards it. Also, 75 cents is where the pivot's at. That's also what we said a second ago about the 100 moving average. That's going to be a bit of a bulldog. But the problem, the good news here is she's slowly sweeping her way up after having a really bad fall off. Beware, this is a shit coin. You may lose all your money. Chill guy. A couple more minutes, right? We timed out this chart. We timed out this stream way better than we did some other ones, though. You know what I mean? Proud of us. Proud of us. All right. You don't have a 200 moving average on this one, but if you did, I bet it would be hitting it right now like Solana and Ethereum and a lot of others are. No new local high just yet, but it's very, very close. As far as the weekly goes, she's trying to get to that weekly 21 EMA. If it doesn't do it now, it will do it later. From there, pulling it down like so. That's also the 50 fib getting caught in the mud here, and that goes back to the high in November, by the way, pulling from the top to the bottom. If it gets through, when it time it will, I think. 17 to 25 cents and then 30 to 50. That's pretty good because that's a 3 to 5x from here if it gets up that high, and it could go farther than that. We'll see as time goes by. Again, this is a shitter, so walk softly. Walk softly. Don't get too crazy. You don't want to go wild on these coins like this. I mean, it could be a real bad day for you if it goes the wrong way. So keep your eyes open for sure. Let's see what else we got. Pi. Do we really got to talk about Pi? All right, so Pi ran up really hard to 160. Aggressive fall off back to the moving averages at the 821 and the 50. I got this from mining way back in 2019 and 2020. I have 971 Pi. I'm just going to find a spot to sell it one day and move on and buy something else. But for now, I'm hanging on to it, whatever. Whatever I get is whatever I get. I expected nothing, so if I get anything, I'm going to be happy. Same kind of targets, though. $1 back up here to where we came again and see if we can push through. And if we ever do get up to $2, that would be a great sell point for me. I'm not sure we ever get there, though. You know what I mean? All right. Let's see. Aptos. We got time for this last one, and then that'll be it. Everything else we'll do in the Discord, and we will have we'll have a Zoom meeting directly after this. Zoom link gets posted in our Discord every single time, right after the streams, and we hang out and do AMA for hours and hours, dude. Talk shit, chop it up, have a good time. 50 moving average. Sorry, let me start again. Aptos. 50 moving average, 100 moving average, 821 sweeping up. I like all this. I like the support here. I am in this, and I've got a big position in this. 200 moving average is capping our gains off at around $7.80 to $8, but we have good power. Look at that weekly. That's a big bullish engulfing, and I'm loving to see it. Slowdown could happen at around 625, waiting on that 21 weekly moving average to fail. And then we got the 50 and the 100 weekly up there around that $8 level, like I said a minute ago. Same place as the 200 moving average. That's my next target. Getting up to that would be excellent. I'll be happy with that, and probably Depending on how things look, skim a little profits, but we'll see. She's never went overbought, so we're good. And daily's just now turning up on the MACD. As far as your Ichimoku cloud goes, you have 4 out of 4. You've got your lag line over the candles and the cloud. You've got, oh no, you only have 3 out of 4. Uh-oh. Conversion and base crossing down. It'll change back tomorrow. You got 3 out of 4 on the cloud, so you're close, but not quite there. Boy, have things really improved across the board. There's a lot of gains to be had. Aptos is another one, and that's why I got in it. Sweet. So check this out, man. That was a hell of a stream. That hour went by super fast. Thank you all for being here and being a part of it. Again, I can't do this without people coming here and hanging out and being a part of it and watching, chilling with us, chopping it up, talking shit, asking questions, being active in the chat. This is how I got to where I am. The things you guys are doing right now is how I got to where I am. Don't tell me it can't be done. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Just lock in and get after it, okay? Lock in and get after it. You can do it. Don't tell me you can't. I've done it. You can do it. Could have been anywhere in the world tonight. You chose to be here with me. I appreciate the hell out of that. Make the best of your todays, the worst of your tomorrows. And if no one else has told you today, Keith will tell you. Keith loves y'all, man, for real. I got your back, all right? WAP.com/team786. That's all from me. I'll see y'all on the next stream. Y'all be good. I'm out. Sky's the limit. Peace. Let's have a drink.